Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Tesla weekly video for today. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend so far. So things are definitely heating up with regards to Tesla. Of course, I'm talking also about the shareholder vote, the meeting that is happening in June. I think a lot of things will change after that meeting. Why is that? Well, on the positive side, okay, the compensation package that was already approved by the majority in 2018 gets reinstated. We move on, everything is great. On the flip side, if the compensation package does not get reapproved, then I do think that shareholders, especially the bulls, because the bears, I mean, if you're bearish, then why even have Tesla shares, right? That doesn't make any sense. But if you're a Tesla bull and the compensation package does not get reinstated, then maybe we should think twice about investing in Tesla because, well, definitely our votes don't really matter much. Because remember, over 70% voted for that compensation package back in 2018, something that was thought to be close to impossible. And yet, Elon Musk and Tesla delivered. But okay, I guess compensation packages based on performance shouldn't really be a thing, and CEOs should be paid even if they underperform, right? Interesting idea, right? Anyways, in this video, we're going to go over a couple of changes that happened inside the company as well with regards to some products, numbers out of China, and then the rest will follow. So if you're interested in all of that, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, would really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So first up, let's start with the Tesla weekly insured numbers in China. That number came in at 9,800. Yes, it is lower than the previous week, but we are making our way back up. Quarter over quarter, we're still down 5.4%. Year to date, we're also down 5.8% compared to last year, but we are starting to catch up a little bit. Then up next, something that I missed last week, and it's a pretty big deal. So Tesla is offering a loan rate of 0.99% APR for all new Model Y finance orders in the United States. Hopefully, this gets expanded to Canada and maybe other countries as well, because this is much better than just lowering the price of the car. Tesla having so much cash on hand anyways, I mean, to me, this is something that I've been talking about for months and months now. I'm happy that this is happening. This is not 0%, but I mean, 1% APR is already quite something. This means the monthly car payment before any incentives and savings is now 15% lower than it was, well, before this was announced. This was from Sawyer Merritt on X. Monthly car payments before the special loan of close to 1% APR. Model Y long range $706 per month. Long range all-wheel drive $756 per month. And Model Y performance $815. Now, with this special loan rate, you're going down to $600 per month for the long range rear-wheel drive, $646 per month for the all-wheel drive, and $693 per month for the Model Y performance. I mean, this is huge for people that could not afford to pay those monthly payments, but now it is much lower. And again, in my opinion, this is just much better than just lowering the price of the car. And yes, it's true that these prices are now extremely close to a Model 3. Talking about the Model 3, Tesla has lowered the monthly lease rate of the Model 3 long range in the United States by 9.1% to $399 per month from $439 per month with a down payment of $2,999. And this is without the toggle here of including gas savings, which in my opinion should always be turned off by default. Moving on to the Model 3 Performance, which in my opinion is just a beautiful car. Tesla has increased the price of the Model 3 Performance in the United States by $1,000 to $54,990, which means you are still eligible for the $7,500 tax credit. Unless, of course, you add something on top of that and the price is now above $55,000. Moving on to the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck had 1,158 registrations versus the Rivian R1T's 548 in March. I mean, that's quite something, right? For a truck that is this weird, having more registrations already right now than the Rivian R1T, which has been out for much longer than the Cybertruck. That's quite an outperformance, and I do expect that outperformance to continue. Moving on to Germany, the Gigafactory in Berlin, Tesla has won the approval for the expansion there, despite all the tree people, all the colorful people complaining about Tesla. I mean, I thought these people were pro-environment, not anti-environment, and yet they are protesting against Tesla, who's doing everything to accelerate the world to a more sustainable one. Well, okay, sometimes I guess the world just is upside down. Then moving on to something that is accelerating quite quickly, that is changing week after week after week after week, and that's AI. AI. Yes, that word has been mentioned in Google's presentation, I think around 120 times or so. But I'm not talking about Google, I'm talking about Tesla here, especially Tesla FSD. So Elon responding on the fact that, well, we're seeing AI everywhere, and he's seeing AI everywhere. By the way, 12.4, talking about FSD version 12.4, goes to internal release this weekend, which is right now, and limited external beta next week. Roughly 5 times to 10 times improvements in miles per intervention versus 12.3. 12.5 will be out in late June. We'll also see a major improvement in miles per intervention and a single stack, no more implicit stack on highways. Then Matthew here asked about Cybertruck FSD. That will come after June with version 12.5. I mean, if we were to believe that it is roughly a 5 to 10x improvement in miles per intervention, I mean, we definitely now know that Tesla is not compute constrained anymore. And two, the rate of improvement is now accelerating like something we've never seen before. And so for something that maybe a year or so we thought was going to take a couple of years' time for major release, maybe we're now a year away from this, maybe less. What do you think? Do share your predictions down in the comment section below. Moving on to more serious stuff, because it is quite serious, because I think most of us would agree that we would sell the majority, if not all of our shares, if Elon is leaving Tesla, right? So we have to talk about the compensation package. You've probably seen this already before if you're an X. So how Tesla outside shareholders by current stake voted on Elon Musk 2018 pay. The gray one is 4, which you can clearly see that in the top 6, only one, which is BlackRock, voted for it. Vanguard, State Street, Geode, Capital Group, Norges Bank all voted against it. Why is that? I don't know. I mean, if most of us thought this was an impossible thing to achieve, why vote against it? Well, okay, but then outside the top 6, you have more people that voted for it. Yes, I wrote get ready for a surprise, because if you think that again we're going to get the large majority to vote for it, I think you are not paying attention. I think it's going to be quite closer than we would like. And like I said before, if votes against and Elon ends up leaving, I'm not saying he's going to leave, but if he ends up leaving Tesla, then it's probably not going to be my number one position in the portfolio anymore. We've got Tesla share Robin Denholm saying that Tesla faces a difficult task to win shareholder vote. It's like Mount Everest. It's a huge hill to climb, because getting 50% of the shareholders to vote, let alone what they vote for, is quite tough. I know that even outside of the United States, for example, in Europe, if you want to vote for this, your brokerage, my brokerage, is making it quite difficult. I already voted, but it's not as easy as it should be. Some of them are really making it quite hard for you as a shareholder to actually vote on some stuff. In my opinion, this has to change, not just for this Tesla thing, but for every company out there. If there is a shareholder vote, your brokerage should automatically send you an email saying there is a vote, here is how you can vote, and be done with it. Funny enough, Tesla is taking the extra step this time. They are actually running ads, sponsored ads on Google, on social media pages, making sure that you know that there is a shareholder meeting, that there is a shareholder vote, and that you should be voting your shares. In my opinion, they should be doing this as well for the 0.99% APR and all the other stuff with regards to Tesla. We know that they've been running some digital advertising in the past on Google, on YouTube, and on other social media platforms as well. But in my opinion, they should be doing this for the overall business more and more, especially when you launch something like 1% APR on Model Y. There's also a new page making sure that you know that you should be voting for Proposal 3, reincorporating Tesla in the state of Texas, and Proposal 4, ratification of the 2018 CO Performance Award. Why is that? Well, they show us even more milestones here. So total shareholder return since March of 2018, over 1,000%. The number of vehicles produced from 2018 to 2023 increased by 7x. Tens of millions of metric tons of CO2 prevented from entering the atmosphere since then, and they generated $15 billion in profit, turned around from a loss of $2.2 billion. Something also interesting here is that they are showing us the, let's say, next stage of Tesla. So we are embarking on our next phase of growth. Under Elon's leadership, Tesla is well positioned to lead in new, rapidly growing and large markets with an evolving and vast ecosystem of transformative technologies. And the number one thing here is AI compute. Not purpose-built robotaxi, not Optimus, but actually AI compute. Interesting. Then they talk about FSD AI-based self-driving and energy storage. So yes, I think it's pretty clear that they see themselves as an AI robotics company and not just a car maker. So, to repeat myself, to make it extremely clear, if you think that the vote in June will pass with flying colors, I think you're mistaken. There's way more influence now inside of Tesla that maybe is not aligned with Elon's vision, maybe is not aligned with what shareholders wanted back in 2018. Just full disclaimer, I was not a shareholder back in 2018, I became a shareholder in 2019. But in my opinion, everyone that voted yes in 2018, that did get all the gains from Tesla, that did get all the gains from Elon Musk working, from Tesla's teams working and outperforming and delivering one of the best shareholder returns in that period of time, and is now deciding to vote against, I think you're a hypocrite. I'm not going to shy away from this comment. I think you're a hypocrite. If back then you voted yes and now you're voting no, but you're still benefiting from the price rise of the stock, then you're just a hypocrite, because basically you're stealing away what you voted for, basically his pay. Let's say I'm your employer. I'm saying, you know what, if you perform well and during this and that time, I will pay you this X amount of money. You're working your ass off, you're working extremely, extremely well, you're performing, the company is doing well, and then actually a couple of years later, I'm like, you know what, actually not, you're not getting this pay. What's going to be your reaction? Probably not a positive one, right? I think the same thing can be said here. Anyways, I do want to show you one extra thing here, and that's with regards to the average Tesla price target for all analysts here. Sits at $181, just 3.7% upside from the price we're at today. But I do want to show you one thing, is that bears are actually quite constant with their price target, or the average there, right? Quite constant. Bulls flip left to right, upside down. You can clearly see these bulls chase the stock price, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. Because, I mean, back here, May 27, 2022, the highest price target was at $540. The stock price? Well, the stock price was closer to $220 or so. What happened next? Well, what happened next is that the highest price target plunged all the way down to $300. And that came after the stock price bottomed at around $110 or so, after Elon Musk bought Twitter, sold quite a lot of shares. Market sentiment overall was quite bearish, but then we entered 2023, overall a bullish market. The stock rebounded and went back close to $300 or so. But to me, it's pretty clear here that analysts are basically chasing the stock price. If the stock goes up quite a lot, you're going to see quite a lot of upgrades. If the stock goes down quite a lot, you're going to see quite a lot of downgrades, despite the business saying the exact opposite. Moving on to the graph, as you can see, this is still the downtrend that started back in November of 2021. We have been making higher lows. I mean, if we take that line all the way back from March 2020, there was a low here back in January 2023, around $106, $110 or so. Then back in April of 2024, we were at 140, just under that. So higher lows for the moment. And the longer this goes on, the bigger the explosion will be. Of course, these two circles here, one is the shareholder meeting in June, and the other is the next earnings report. And actually, I should have added another circle, because I think a week or two after the next earnings report, we have that August 8th event. So yeah, quite a lot of short-term, let's call it, catalysts for Tesla right now. The 200-day moving average keeps dropping, so it will become quite easier for the stock to react way more positive than before, because before we did try to break above the 200-day moving average, we didn't really stay there for quite long. The lower it goes, the easier it will be to challenge it and go past it. Right now it's at $202, the 50-day one at $175.9, and the 20-day one at $172. So we're just above the 50 and the 20-day moving average on the weekly. So overall, to conclude, things are definitely heating up when it comes to Tesla. By the way, next week there's also Snowflake reporting, NVIDIA reporting, especially NVIDIA, that might also change the market sentiment, because for some reason, if NVIDIA reports something bad, then the overall market has to take a hit. Also, Dow Jones over 40,000, I believe the S&P over 5,300. Quite the performance in 2024. Despite some companies not really performing that well year to date, the overall market is still quite bullish. I mean, we did get some numbers that might indicate that we might get a bit more rate cuts later this year than expected. Remains to be seen. It's still going to be quite an interesting year, election year overall. So yeah, expect some volatility. That's all I have to say. That will be it for this video. Do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.